It is May 22nd. It is Happy Hour Hug Nation time. Before we get too deep, let's take a moment to just get present. Just take a moment of mindfulness. Take a deep breath through the nose, out through the mouth. 2 more. As we sink into the now, we let go of the day. Whatever brought us here, we are grateful, but we let go of it and just be present. Experience this moment. Feel our bodies. Notice the sensations. Where can you feel air? Where can you feel clothes? Where is skin on skin? Where are your feet touching the ground? Your seat in the chair? Take a deep breath and feel your body stretch. We get caught up in stories. We think we need grand things, but there is so much to witness in the mundane now. The perfect, amazing, infinite now. And so once we get a command of that now, once we become in tune with life as it is happening, then we can be mindful about the thoughts that we bring into this now. As thoughts occur that are unpleasant or stressful, we can decide to let them pass through. And we can cultivate and pull in ideas and thoughts and memories that make us happy and joyful. People, projects, ideas, laughter that we can hear in our head from someone that may not even be on this planet any longer. Practicing mindfulness, practicing being present, extends your life infinitely and helps you be aware of the gifts available in every moment. Thank you, universe, for all of these blessings. Help us to appreciate them. Help us to focus on all that is wonderful. Help us to bring in more goodness into our lives so that we may spread joy into the world. Amen. Welcome! It's May 22nd, and that is special for a number of reasons. One, it's my brother's birthday. That means it's 6 days until my birthday. It also means that it is the day before AnyBeat shuts its doors. It is the eve of the end. Now what's cool, though, about this time is that when, compared to, say, 2 weeks ago, when we announced that we're ending, is that so much has happened. Who here has been a member of AnyBeat? Anyone in the chat room? And who here is now a part of at least one community or Facebook group that has the sole intention of keeping that community alive? Who's on True Friends? That seems to be working really well. I heard it went down once today, but, the thing about AnyBeat is it was built to be world-changing, and that requires a lot of servers and a lot of infrastructure. And so, we pushed you guys hard to invite your friends, and part of that was because we wanted this to grow for ego reasons, but most of it was that we needed it to grow to justify the infrastructure and to show the people that had invested money that it had the potential to be something massive and therefore deserved more resources to keep it going. So, that didn't happen. At least not on the scale that was required to keep it going in its form. But, as Fred F. and others have started to illustrate, to maintain and create the infrastructure for a community the size that AnyBeat actually was may be doable with the resources available to that community. People ask, well, why didn't you guys ask us to pay dues? I can't really speak to the actual numbers that are involved, but let me just say that it's not sustainable. with the numbers that we had, unless there were people that we had like a wealthy benefactor. And if that was the case, then maybe they would invest more money and it would be a different story. So let me cheers to the AnyBeat community. It has been an honor, a privilege, a treat, and it has made me a better person to get to know people there, to listen, to share, and to be exposed to opinions and life stories of all the amazing people that made it their home. So thank you for trusting us enough to make it a home, and thank you for trusting yourself enough to share such significant things about who you are. Cheers. So it looks like Andrew Arrow is in the room. And so Andrew was one of the rockstar programmers. I guess the word is developers now, which to me, as someone who dyes their hair, developer reminds me of hair products and bleaching. But developer is what we call those that code. I'm trying to find a way to blame him, but I don't think I can do it. There's really no way to blame anything. I think that, you know, in some ways, it was an experiment. It was an attempt to see if enough people cared about the direction of our online world, specifically the permanent record, legal, professional overlap of a Facebook world. If enough people said, you know, this is not the healthy way to grow as an individual, and I don't know where the missing piece was in that equation. To be honest, I was surprised how many people did not value that enough to put the effort into developing their identities on AnyBeat. Even as we were starting, you know, I remember Dimitri and I talking and wondering if it was too late. You know, there's an old story about if you put a frog into a pot of boiling water, it will pop out and jump out. But if you put a frog into a pot of lukewarm water and then turn the heat on, it'll just sit there until it eventually is cooked and dies. And in a lot of ways, that's what has been the state of privacy and online sharing in our world. We've been trained so much to share, and that the currency of eyeballs is, you know, we think that we are winning the more people that look, and I'm guilty of that. As I'm speaking here, I'm realizing that I'm preaching to the choir, and maybe this is the wrong direction for our gathering here. The cool thing that happened with the community is just that, the community. And the support, and what we tried to do is try to mimic certain Burning Man interaction styles and expectations. And what happened was people did that. People treated the stranger with open arms and with education and with direction. People supported people they'd never met. How many people here, and I don't know if anyone in the room had done it, but I know that there are people a number of people at AnyBeat in our short little life made trips to visit other AnyBeaters or AnyBeatniks or whatever the term is that history will say about us. Esta went to go meet a few. See, that is so amazing. Welcome, gamer girl. Oh, hello, Kazantha. Welcome. And I think that in a lot of ways, that is a affirmation more than anything else. You know, that this digital form made way to physical connections. I've gotten some emails from people that have just been really important and profound as far as people sharing what this place meant to them. The whole concept of trying to find a place where you could, you know, be vulnerable in a safe place without consequences, really, is it's something that it's a shame that we don't value that more, and that there isn't, that we actually had to build it in the first place. I know that some of us have that in our physical online friends, but the web used to be that. And maybe, maybe true friends will be that as it moves forward, or maybe the Facebook group will be that. It's as I said, it was an honor that people trusted us to kind of be the carekeepers, whatever that word is, of the space. And the fact that we could not keep it going, for that I'm very sorry. The last couple of weeks actually were harder for me than I expected, in terms of facing this shift and the closing of the doors and the impending transition. But in the end, everything is transitional. Everything is temporary. And it's hard to judge the worth of something based on how long that it existed. It did exist. It is a part of our story. And I think for the most of us, it's a positive thing. The fact that it wasn't as long as we'd like, well, that's our expectations. That's our attachment. And who knows what it will lead to. Maybe we'll get in on the initial public offering of truefriends.org. I would like to get some friends and family shares. Calypso says, I have a new family because of what you guys did. Well, that is about as priceless as any stock. Unless you can get me some Facebook stock. Because that I would trade for that. No, I'm kidding. There's a lot that with the end of it and the new owners and all that stuff, I wish I could speak to that more. I think there will be an email that comes out soon that kind of explains some more things. It's not something that I can speak about, unfortunately. But let me just assure everyone that if it was possible to maintain the community, we would have done so. The sale was not done as a selling out. It was done as a last resort. That being said, I wish the new owners endless luck and prosperity, as well as truefriends.org prosperity, as well as deepened connections with all those that are connected on Facebook. So if there's anything that anyone wants to share, a particular experience or story or a moment that they had that they want to kind of toast as we say farewell to the sinking ship, please do. Otherwise, I'm gonna in a moment go to the Facebook answers. Earlier today, I asked people, or on the Hug Nation page, to share some advice or something that you would tell the 18-year-old you, because the archive of this afternoon that I recorded was kind of lessons that I learned, as I approach my 41st birthday, and so there was like a lot of responses, and so I'm eager to kind of share those as well. Janelle and Kim say it's a new beginning, not an end. Gamer says, AnyBeat was a driving force in my personal healing process. I found a lot of positivity and love during the end of my marriage and the dissolution of a 10-year friendship. I'm sorry that you went through that, but how beautiful that you had this online community to ease that. Calypso says, I was in a very dark place when I found AnyBeat, and the AnyBeater family gave me more love than I could have ever hoped for, and in essence, saved me. Wow. I'm a big believer that it is not the magnitude of actions or effect that you measure. It is the direction. And so if one person has that kind of impact on their life, it is hard to judge anything as a failure. So Thank you for sharing that. Esther says, I've got to see so many stories that aren't mine to share. And I appreciate that. You know, that is a very good awareness that we got to be intimately connected with people, and part of that trust is that these are not our stories to tell. But it's nice to know that we have had those connections. Dawn says, I found support in all of the difficulties I faced and the new challenges that I'm currently facing. It really feels like the community has almost not skipped a beat. I don't know if that's, you know, I almost feel more connected now. I truthfully, you know, the Facebook and the True Friends I find easier to check sometimes even than any beat. Not to badmouth. That's not a criticism. The heartbeat was the people. Absolutely. I mean, look at Facebook, look at AnyBeat, look at World Truth, look at True Friends. I mean, you could put them on 50% transparency and overlap them, and they would pretty much be the same thing. The magic comes from people. The magic comes from what we share, how we interact. And I think that is the expectations that we set for one another lifted us all up. And that's something that is priceless. I'm going to just end this archive with, if I can find it, the quote from that we named AnyBeat from. Mr. Thoreau said, if a man loses pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears the sound of a different drum. And it was a treat to be able to play music for the crowd and their unique beats for the time that AnyBeat.com existed. And it will be an honor to follow and experience wherever those connections go in the future. Thank you, AnyBeat community. We will see you online.